This week, we're going to be talking a little bit more about arthritis. And I also wanted to tell you guys some of the home remedies for this. So let's just start off the first couple things that come to mind with osteoarthritis and aches and pains. One of my favorite things to do for people is to recommend Epsom salt baths, which most people have heard of, but kind of here's the protocol. Anytime we have arthritis pain and muscle pain, magnesium is that magic medical miracle mineral that helps to get the myosin cross bridges to detach. So muscle fibers are supposed to slide on each other like this. Magnesium, excuse me, calcium is what makes them contract. Magnesium what makes them relax. And if you think about how my bicep works, if I contract my biceps, I'm telling basically everything to contract to go this way, but my triceps has to relax. So I mean, there's a lot more complicated than that, but calcium's on the front, magnesium is on the back. Most people are universally deficient in magnesium. Epsom salt baths help to drive magnesium into the tissues. And so magnesium baths are absolutely fantastic. I like as hot a bath as is reasonable with 2 cups of Epsom salts, which is magnesium sulfate. And then you kind of want to, steep in it just like a hot drink or tea. Like that's one of my very favorite things to do. The other thing is to combine that with a cup of Bragg's apple cider vinegar. I've seen some really good outcomes with it. I love apple cider vinegar. I don't like to really take it per se, but I see a lot of benefit in Bragg's apple cider vinegar. A cup of apple cider vinegar, 2 cups of Epsom salts is good. Now, I don't know how many people can do this, but the other huge benefit of arthritis is doing what they call cold shock proteins, which is all the stuff that my boys and I've been doing on the ice baths. Now, being completely honest with everybody, no one in their right mind really starts off to do an ice bath. The reason why I did it is because my 20-year-old son was having some health concern, but he said, Dad, I want to try this ice bath therapy. And so he said, I really want to do it. I need you to help me do it. You're my moral support. So we started doing this. Now, it was really difficult to do this, which I wanted to introduce everybody to something else. I'm going to try this. And I'll bring it up here in just a second. But the guy that I follow on this is a gentleman from the Netherlands named Wim Hof, WIMHOF. And I have just seen some just really cool outcomes from it. It's really hard, but man, it has made a lot of my aching joints and stuff really, really dissipate. Now, my joints, as I'm 50 years old, I broke my kneecap when I was 13 riding motorcycles. And if I sit too long for an extended position, it really bothers me. Like flying's kind of tough. Of course, I've had Shelby do injections and Dr. Nelson do acupuncture injections. And it really is pretty good, except when I fly. So when we went down to see Carter, my son that's in grad school down in Florida, um, it was barking at me a little bit, and it really helps to do that cold shock therapy. Now, I think that there's some really cool things for arthritis by doing this. Let me share this with you right here. So I'm on the Apple Store. I know it's on the Google Store here, but I love this app right here. It's free. It's called the Wim Hof method. This is the Iceman. And here's what you don't have to do an ice bath to get benefit from it. What you have to do is you learn how to breathe. And he goes through this guided therapy, practice breathing. Here he is right here. He is, let's see, right behind me. Move myself. Okay. Right up, right here. And he walks you how to do these 35 breaths in and out, in and out, in and out. And then you have you are exercising your lungs. I love this because it's not painful. You don't have to get in ice water. You don't have to get a bath. You just have to get oxygen into your body. Now, why this is so effective in home arthritis therapy is when we talk about the pathways for breaking down energy into your body, we call that uh, literally glycolysis, the breakdown of sugar. Now, when you eat proteins, eventually they get turned to sugar, and you eat sugar. What happens? It goes to your cells, and then we have this little thing in the cells called the mitochondria. They're the powerhouse of the cells. And when we can get sugar inside of the cell, we're healthy. When it's hard to get into the cell, then what happens is we get insulin resistance, and then it spikes the insulin, and like it throws off this whole other pathway. Well, one of the things that's really beneficial getting a breakdown of the sugar the right way is to make sure that oxygen is the final electron acceptor, or what they call the electron transport chain. So just go with me in a minute. We have these little powerhouses called mitochondria. Sugar comes in and it makes the mitochondria generate energy. As they start to break everything down at the very end, if we have oxygen, we get all this energy, and the byproducts are carbon dioxide and water. If we run out of energy, and a perfect way to describe this is if I go to the gym and I start doing exercises that I'm not used to, I'm going to take those muscles, I'm going to run out of energy. So there's no oxygen for the mitochondria. When there's no oxygen, you make like a ninth of the energy, so 18% of the energy, and the byproducts are lactic acid and pyruvate. So what does this mean? That's all waste products. The lactic acid makes you sore, which, by the way, this is what a lot of people feel in arthritis. They have soreness in the muscles. They have soreness in the joints because there's not oxygen in that area. So one fantastic home therapy for arthritis and for muscle function is to teach yourself how to breathe. This is one of my favorite ways to do that. I want to give Wim Hof all of the credit. It's got a wonderful meditation component. I do this every morning. It takes me 17 minutes to breathe in, breathe out, and to train your lungs. I just lie in bed when I get rolling in the morning. I've seen really, really good outcomes of that. Another fun thing to look at, resource for home therapy that doesn't cost anything, is to go through this book. And if you guys haven't figured, I just love to read. Here's the book, James Nestor, called Breathe, and it's the lost art. And it was named the book of the year in 2020. But I'm looking at it, not only does it do all these things healthy physiologically for you, but it also gets rid of lactic acid and pyruvate. Now, why this is so important is it causes pain and sore muscles. But I also think that too much acid in your system that we can't get out through the liver and the kidneys is a risk factor for turning on gene expression that leads to cancer and metabolism and all of that. So I really, really like this book. I love that app. And as we're talking about home therapies, we've got apple cider vinegar, we've got magnesium sulfate and oxygen. By the way, this is one of the most important reasons why it's so important to move. In any time where, it's particularly walking or doing exercise, bike riding, going to the gym, cardio, or anything like that, it increases our oxygen carrying capacity and decreases our risk factors for disease. So, okay, going on into some other therapies. We were talking about apple cider vinegar. I also wanted to be talking about how you can do it internally. I like to do it through a pill, but you can do raw vinegar, 1 teaspoon in a half a glass of water immediately after meals. Helps to, again, break down acid. And then so here's some ideas for supplementation. Like, I love curcumin. I love turmeric. I really like taking essential fatty acids, omega 3s, 6, 7s, 9s, and 12. So your small, medium, and large chain of essential fatty acids. And then you mix those with an enzyme. And what we are trying to do is 4,000 to 6,000 milligrams of essential fatty acids. This is for pain relief. I think is so much better for you than aspirin, Tylenol, or Aleve, because they work quicker, but they also have a tendency to cause, some hardening. Matter of fact, some of the pathways, they call it focal glomerulonephrosclerosis, is something that they do that causes the kidneys to heal, which is one of the unwanted side effects of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory therapy, which is aspirin and ibuprofen, stuff like that. So if you're in a lot of pain, 4 pills of essential fatty acids. I like it when it's combined, and then you add an enzyme on an empty stomach. So Wobenzym's good. Bromelain is another one. Digestive enzymes. I like using, Zypan or Pan5X in the office. If you've been a patient at some time or another, we've probably talked at least about Pan5X, which is pancreatics enzymes, and they act like little Pac-Man to eat up inflammation. Now, this protocol doesn't work so well immediately. Like if you're having a lot of knee or hip pain or things like that, it doesn't kick in right away. It usually takes a week or so. But if you stay on it, you can have some really nice relief from arthritis. Another thing that I really like is something called tea relief. Let me see if I can bring it up here. A tea relief is a cream. Actually, there's a couple different creams that are really good. Tea relief is what it looks like. It's a homeopathic with the tablet. I like the cream form, but it's based upon arnica and it has a really nice pain relief. I like to rub this on after I do things with my boys for neck and for back pain, like when I go out and ride dirt bikes with my kids. Sometimes my knee will hurt just a little bit, and there's another deep blue is another one that's really good. Tramiel is another one. I also like something called Sombra. Whoops. I'm recognizing that I don't have my screen up here. Let me fix this. Okay, here we go. So Tramiel cream is a wonderful homeopathic. Here's what it looks like. Right here. That's what it looks like. I love this stuff right above my head. Let me get out of the way. This doesn't smell. It doesn't stain any clothes or anything like that. I get it from Germany. It's available in a lot of different places. But for short-term relief, when you are needing something right away, you don't want to build up your liver and kidneys. I love this Tramiel gel. Another one that definitely smells medicine, but I really like it because it has some capsaicin and cayenne in it. It's called Sombra Gel. And this is what it looks like. I like the warming. There's a cool one and there's a warming one, but this medicine works great. You can get it a whole bunch of different places. Yes, you can get it in the office. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it in a lot of pharmacies. And it's a wonderful pain relieving gel. So if you're out and your shoulder's hurting you from pickleball or your knees bothering you from, riding a mountain bike or doing cycling or go to the gym, don't forget about Tramiel and Sombra. The one I first talked about, and I didn't realize I didn't have my screen up, is called Tea Relief Gel. This is what I have in the office that I really like. And it's safe, it's easy, it doesn't cause any side effects. Reviewing what we can do for home arthritis. Epsom salt baths, apple cider vinegar, oxygen therapy, just concentrate on getting more oxygen in your system, just breathing. And I love this because it doesn't cost anything to do the breathing. It helps to hyperoxygenate the cells. And I give you a couple examples of some protocols. Again, curcumin and turmeric are wonderful. I also like vitamin B6. Okay, other things that we can do for home arthritis, heat and cold therapies, not having to do ice baths, but sometimes with heat, you have to be a little bit careful of this because heat will really affect like rheumatoid arthritis. Heat's pretty tough on multiple sclerosis. It's tough on. So if there's an autoimmune that's causing some arthritis or nerve problems, you want to be a little bit careful with it. But I like for arthritis, osteoarthritis, like for me and my knee, like I broke my kneecap. Now it hurts all the time. When I say all the time, that's not right. It hurts all the time when I fly. And one of the things when I was down in Florida is like I put 10 minutes of heat, 10 minutes of ice, 10 minutes of nothing. So heat, ice, nothing, heat, ice, nothing. And it creates a little pumping mechanism to get stuff in and out of the cells with that. The other food that's really important for arthritis and pain, two of them that I see really good benefits out of are raw pecans, are particularly good for the nodes that happen on your knuckles. So if you get an enlarged node on your knuckle, what happens is we call those Hebrideans nodes. The other thing that's really good for arthritis, pain, aches and pains is walnuts, raw walnuts, and they have a really nice brain effect. And so those are some of the food considerations. Before I forget, the other two really good things for arthritis is raw papaya, and raw pineapple. Now, when you take pineapple, you can't get it out. It can't be pineapple juice, and you can't get it out of a can. You need to have pineapple juice, raw pineapple. And the way that you know if pineapple's any good is you cut a slice and you can put it on your tongue and it still should start to burn and tingle. And if you take it off your tongue, you should have some red spots in it where your tongue has had been bleeding, and you can see it on the pineapple. That means it has all of those enzymes of bromelain and the proteolytic enzymes to help digest food. Now you can eat it and it's not going to bother your stomach, but that's one of the tests. If you take canned pineapple and you put it on your tongue, almost never will you get that little blood response that is a sign of an active proteolytic enzyme. So papaya and pineapple are really, really good to digest proteins. And then as an acid, osteoarthritis acid stopper, we have cherries. Just wanted to review some of those considerations for what you can do at home. So we've got a couple different things: magnesium at home, your apple cider vinegar, increasing oxygen levels with just breathing, either James Nestor breathe or Wim Hof, where he walks you through how to breathe, and then also how to train your lungs to be healthier. Looking at curcumin and turmeric, somewhere around 400 milligrams. Also combining essential fatty acids with the proteolytic enzyme, eating cherries, and looking at pecans to decrease joint and knuckle problems and stuff like that.